Hey everyone, it's Lauren from Otter Valley Railroad. We just got back from the Rocky Mountain Train Show, and what a time that was. Really cool show. That was our second U.S. show we've done this year, and that was in Denver, Colorado. My wife Sarah and our daughter Isabel helped us for the weekend. Met lots of customers, met lots of friends, and met lots of new customers. So, really great show. And I want to thank everybody who come up to our booth, talked to us both Saturday and Sunday, and then who have either emailed or subsequently placed orders for 6400s or pre-ordered 6000s or pipe cars. In addition, on the weekend, we announced the N scale versions of the 64s and the 6000s. They will be on our website the middle of next week. We are just finalizing some last road numbers for some of the paint schemes. So just be patient with us. That'll be out and ready for pre-order next week. But here I want to talk about the 6400s that have come and arrived. So the first paint scheme that we have delivered is the Amex 1100 series paint scheme. So here is the 1100 series paint scheme. So this was one of the first purchasers of the NSC 6400. A couple neat illustrations. It has the release hatch on the side, has the full piece back bracket, coupler cut hoses, and all the markings and such. A couple things to point out. These were kind of an off-white color that AIM had. A lot of these now still see construction and demolition service as well as scrap. So that was the AMX 1100 series. We offered that in 6 numbers. They're still available. The next in the AIM series, we offered the 14,000 series. So this was a 2014 build date. Amex will put the first 2 numbers of the year of purchase. When we get to the 23,000 series, I'll tell you what happened there. So again, this is the Amex 14,000 series. Has all the markings that are corporately and correct, as well as the cut edges and the full bracket. Some of you have asked if we're going to do the 15,000 series. We will make a formal announcement when we do the 15,000 series in the future run, so look for that. And that's the Amex in the 14,000 series. There's 12 road numbers available, 2 different 6-packs. We also have the 23,000 series. So what I was saying before is Amex would order based on the year of purchase. So the first 2 numbers would represent the year of purchase of the car. What happened with this one, this deviated. So this is actually was a 22 build date. So this was built in the spring of 22. It actually has a 23 instead of a 22. So this is the Amex with the blue truck bearings, big aim, full bracket, black wheel, and the NSC logo is moved over. This is an ultra modern car. Came out in the spring of 22. The next version is the CDX. The CDX is a very interesting version. First off, a lot of these cars had to get repatched or repainted because of how excessive the trash service was. So you'll see a lot of prototype pictures where the lettering has changed, and that is because of the lettering has been either broke, as in the decal and the film that they used for the cars had broke, or B, it had faded so much from all the service. So you'll notice on the 16,000 series AIM, our pictures of reference we used was 2015, 2016, and 2017. I had spent a lot of time in those years going to Buffalo a lot and getting a lot of the CSX 636 and 637 trains. So they're based on prototype pictures that we have in our collection. Again, it's a full bracket on the end. All the traditional lettering you'd expect of our cars. Black bearings, air hoses, and the notchings with the NSC logos, and the empty the load back on this side and not on the B side. So that's the CDX version. The next ladder versions are one of the original purchasers, CMBX, an Ontario-based scrapper, Very similar to the AIM 1100 series. CMBX is a very small scrapper. They have operations in southern Ontario. So traditionally it's a southern Ontario, Michigan, and western New York car, generally hauling scrap. As you can see with this, it's an early generation car. Very simple on the decaling placement, and it has the full plate bracket on the end. So that's the CMBX version. The DEAX version, right here. This is a southern United States version. So it has the notchings here and here that match the DAX version. You'll see a lot of these cars with and without lids. We didn't offer this car with a lid. We are thinking about offering lids later down the road, so have a look for that. Again, full end bracket, NSC build decals placement, and all the appropriate constrictory striping, and a full underbody detail with the hatches, appropriate hatches in that. So that's the DEX version. The Cardella, we offered two versions. The Cardella had 4 different purchase orders, and they vary between purchase orders. We actually opted for the later paint scheme. So this is the Cardella late version. So this is the 140-003 version. You'll notice on some of the Cardella pictures you'll see on realpictures.net or freight car galleries that there's a couple different shades of green. That is correct. There is different shades of green. So just keep that in mind when you're picking different road numbers. Some of the numbers that originally had the dark green have been repainted over to the lighter green. So you can see that on variations of photos. And that's the Cardella. We offered the early and the middle series, 12 numbers of each. The next paint scheme we offered was the Interstate Waste, the IWXX version. Again, this is the spring of 22 build, Hamilton-based NSC build, blue bearings, all the appropriate decal placement, the Interstate decal, and blue coupler cut bars, and all the fine underbody detail you expect with our models. The next version that we had offered in our first run was the Oak Ridge, and the Oak Ridge we had offered it in 12 numbers. So that's the Oak Ridge Gray. Again, this is a relatively modern paint scheme. Versions have kicked out of the National Steel since 2018, and Oak Ridge did take orders last year in 2022. So has again full end bracket, all the decaling placements you'd expect, all the striping, full underbody detail, black bearing trucks, as well as the decal on the truck. So that's the Oak Ridge. The next version we had offered was the WinX, and we had offered the WinX in 12 row numbers. Blue bearings, blue cutler cut levers, black wheel, all the empty and reload decal placements, the patent decals, the load decals, as well as all the end decal placement as well, and the full plate. The next version we had offered in the 6400s was the Offix. We offered this in 6 road numbers. Again, very similar to the AIM 14,000 series with the color shade, decal placement, and the plating. Again, this is common in trash and construction and debris. Full bracket, appropriate coupler cut lever colors, full underbody detail, black truck bearings, and the decal placement on the truck. The last 2 versions we offered, and this was available for both the freelance modelers and the private road owners, we offered the gray AIM-X versions with the blue truck bearings, so that way you could apply your own road number and end markings. A lot of customers have done that, as well as you could add any variations, and it has all the appropriate constrictor markings, the load limits, and has all the end detail. Comes with the blue coupler cut lever. And the last version we offered, and we just made more available today, so they are available now, and this will be the last availability, is the black CDX version with the blue bearing trucks, all the appropriate decals, so you can place your road name, your end markings, and you can go to town. And I know there's been a lot of posts both in our OVR Facebook group as well as the different Facebook freelance groups over Custom Roads Net. So now that you've got your 6400 order from OVRTRAINS.com, you want to get them on the track and get them running. All our initial tests in both our pre-production and production samples came back positive. However, we have been listening to some of the social media comments on ways to improve both the operator use as well as improve the ride control and ride comfort. So the first one is a couple modders have indicated that there's a bit of wobble. So as you see, there's some flexibility. It doesn't impact the running of the car, but it can show a small wobble at certain speeds. It's very noticeable. When you put a load in the car, there is no wobble. However, if you want to improve the wobble, I'm going to show you two options. So in front of me here is an Oak Ridge one. I'm going to take my OVR screwdriver. I'm going to remove the trucks. So I've already removed the hatches. So the hatches here can be popped off. Get a small flat screwdriver or an X-Acto blade, and you can pop them right off. So I'm going to pop the trucks off, and I'm going to show you what we did. There's the truck. There's the truck. So, if you find there is a slight wobble, take a small file and you just file this down. Generally, you want to file no more than about this thickness of cardstock. So, I'm going to take this and I'm going to file the ends. Hey, so we're back now. We've got the two pockets where the trucks sit. So where the trucks sit, that's the small spot to file. Adding a shim will not improve any sort of wobble. It actually raises the coupler height up. So after you've done your filing, very small little bit of file, you screw them back. Now if you notice, that wobble's almost gone. I'm going to tighten the screw. Wobble's gone. This one, just a little bit left to tighten, so I'm going to tighten that. Too much. There we go. Let's see how they perform now. Here's a car with the filing done. No wobble. Here's a car that hasn't been filed. Let's compare the wobble. Noticeable. So, if you want to improve and reduce the wobble on your car, take the trucks off, pop off, take the screw off, and file it down less than a paper in thickness. Once you do that, put the trucks back on, the wobble will be removed. Now some of you have asked, why did we not opt for KD couplers? Well, on all production runs going forward, 6,000 and thereafter, as you see the 6,000 sample here, it will have KD 156 scale couplers. So, I'm going to show you how you can do your coupler conversion on your Oak Ridge car right here. Take your flat screwdriver. Unscrew the coupler boxes. Remember, the detail is very fine, so just take your time. I pop the coupler out very gently. I pop the other coupler out very gently. As you see, the couplers are removed. I'm going to grab a pair of KD 156s. As you see, I've got a KD Whisper 156. I've got it in the coupler pocket. And we are in. I'm going to re-screw the ends. Coupler is nice and in. Box is level. I'm going to come over here and do the same one. Just take your time with doing this. Some of the details is very fine. If in the event you break a part, you can email us. We have lots of parts. We'll gladly send you out a part in a small packet. Whisker head moves good. Coupler pocket is in. Now we're going to check the KD height gauge, see how the model has performed after we've done our operational tweaks. Height is right on. The pin will have to be raised, so we will have to take a needle nose pliers and raise the height of the pin up. However, the coupler head height is on. Coming over to the other end, head is on, however we have to raise the pin up. Again, that's very common when you get a pair of KDs out of the package. Sometimes you have to raise the coupler pin up. So, we're going to take the model. Okay, so we're back at the layout bench here. We've put our KD 156s on. As you see, they move quite well. We've done our truck change issue, and we've done our filing. Now we're going to put the truck covers back on the wheel sets and enjoy operations. So I take my truck cover here, I drop it back in, nice and back in firm. I take my other one and come down here to the B end, and we're done. Model is ready for service and ready for your main line. As you see, wobble is gone. The 156s are installed, and she's ready for your track. So, all our 6400s are available on our website. The next two arrivals will be our FCA 52-foot pipe car, and the first car in the series that will have KD 156s will be the NSC 6000s. Look for new announcements coming up in upcoming events. And any questions or concerns, you can give us a call. You can email us. You can email me directly. My email is lauren@OVRTRAINS.com. And happy modeling. And I hope you guys are having a good Easter weekend. And we'll be back open Tuesday for ship out, and we're open Saturday for walk-in.